Rosh Chodesh, na'ale alav, mizbeach chadash, ve'tzion tachim, oilas Rosh Chodesh, na'ale alav, mizbeach chadash, ve'tzion tachim, ve'oilas Rosh Chodesh, na'ale alav. The words in Musaf Rosh Chodesh, some of my favorite words. מזבח חדש בציון תכין בעולת ראש חודש נעלה עליו. A new מזבח, a new shulchan, a new way of talking to you, Hashem. There should be התחדשות, a new way of thinking about our relationship. And then right after that we have the words that show us that now that we have a new relationship, we have a way to come to Yerushalayim, to ask to come to Yerushalayim. V'avienu letzionecha, letzionecha, oy bedina. V'avienu letzionecha, letzionecha, oy bedina. V'Yerushalayim beis mikdashcha, beis mikdashcha, v'simchas olam. V'Yerushalayim beis mikdashcha, beis mikdashcha, v'simchas olam. Oy v'avienu letzionecha, letzionecha, oy bedina. V'avienu letzionecha, letzionecha, oy bedina. V'Yerushalayim beis mikdashcha, beis mikdashcha, v'simchas olam. V'Yerushalayim beis mikdashcha, beis mikdashcha, v'simchas olam. Ay da 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 da. Ay da 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 da. Oh, ay da da da. Oh, da 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 da. Ay da da da. Ay v'avienu letzionecha, letzionecha, oy bedina. V'avienu letzionecha, letzionecha, oy bedina. V'Yerushalayim beis mikdashcha, Soinon in Yerushalayim Beis Mikdashcha B'simchas Olam. Good morning, Shavua Tov, Chodesh Tov Mevorach. Hoping everyone had a strong Shabbos, a wonderful Shabbos, and everyone's feeling good. This is a very, very exciting day. It's a very exciting time. And let's be honest, it's a very difficult time. What's so difficult? What's so hard right now? What is the thing that's probably the most, that which is providing the most hardship? What's new? We want something new, Ribbono Shel Olam. We want something new to happen. We're stuck. We're stuck in guidelines. We're stuck in concepts. We're stuck in feeling that nothing really moved forward. Pashut tku'im, simply stuck on so many levels. We thought that by now we would be somewhere else. So comes today, Rosh Chodesh Sivan, and I believe that it's one of the most underrated dates in the Chumash. So underrated. Because what happens on Rosh Chodesh Sivan is supposed to give us a lot of koach. And even though the actual date is not written in the Torah, we know from the way that we learn in Parashat Yitro, getting ready for Kabbalat Torah, we know exactly when this day is. So before we go into today's learning, very, very important piece, very beautiful, very positive, very special. I just want us to get aligned. You know, when you do yoga, so obviously the first few moments are just like this, zoning in, being good to yourself, breathing in, making sure that where you are is where you want to be. And one of the most difficult things about learning online is that, and a lot of friends have told me this, is that, when you're in front of the computer and you're learning, there's 5 million distractions right there in front of you. So for a second right now, just to decide, Ribbono Shel Olam, this is where I want to be, Rosh Chodesh Sivan, a few days before receiving the Torah. And I'm giving all the haskamas, I'm giving every sense that I have, all 5 senses. I'm giving it all the aid and all the help to help me stay focused and take in whatever learning we're going to be doing this morning. Why is Rosh Chodesh Sivan one of the most underrated days of the calendar? And why is it such a secret? That's what we're going to be learning today. And really, essentially, what's the Avoda of Rosh Chodesh Sivan? There's a big Avoda to do today. Very, very big Avoda. Something very powerful. So when is Rosh Chodesh Sivan in the Torah? So today we're going to be learning 2 psukim, a Rashi, an Or Chaim, and a Reb Tzadok HaKohen of Lublin. Don't worry, that sounds very intimidating, and it sounds like we'll be here till, Shavuos. We won't. We'll get there, and it'll be Gewalt. So you see the Mare Mekomot in front of you. You see I'll be translating everything. And as you can see, we have the first few psukim. These are the psukim that define for us what we're supposed to be busy doing on Rosh Chodesh Sivan, on this day. What day is it? So when we come to Har Sinai, it says B'chodesh HaShlishi, in the 3rd month. We're counting from Nisan. So Nisan Iyar Sivan, on the 3rd month, let's say Bnei Yisrael Meretz Mitzrayim, 3 months from the time I left Egypt, Bayom Hazeh, Ba'u Midbar Sinai. On this day, they got to Har Sinai. Rashi explains to us, Ma'u Bayom Hazeh. Why does it say Bayom Hazeh? Why does it say on this day? It should say Bayom Hahu, on that day. So the reason the Torah speaks in this language of on this day, Rashi says, Sheyu divrei Torah chadashim alecha ki'ilu hayom nitnu. Very famous Rashi. The reason why it says that the Torah was given to us, that we arrived on this day, is because just like we showed up to Har Sinai, every time we come to learn, it should feel like it's new. Okay, that's very beautiful. And it's one of the hardest things to do, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. How do you actually do that? And then the next pasuk is also interesting. Vayis'u mir fidim. It says where we just came from the last place. Vayis'u mir fidim, a place called Refidim. Vayavo midbar Sinai, and they came to Har Sinai. Vayachanu bamidbar, they encamped in the desert. Vayichan sham Yisrael neged har, against the mountain, across from the mountain. So the Gemara explains to us in Masechet Shabbos that this Yom Hazeh, this day, Bayom Hazeh, is actually referring to Rosh Chodesh Sivan. That's referring to the first day of Sivan. And on the first day, the Gemara says, Hashem didn't tell us anything. We showed up, and the Gemara says over there, it's not written in front of you, but the Gemara says, why didn't Hashem speak to us at all on Rosh Chodesh Sivan? It says, Mishum Chulsha de Orcha, because we were weak, we were tired from the long shlep that we've been doing. And we have a whole shiur just on what that means. What's Chulsha de Orcha? We're not going to do that right now. What it means that Hashem kind of gave us like a day off, he didn't speak to us. But on Rosh Chodesh Sivan, there wasn't anything transpiring on the level of words between us and Hashem. That's what's important for our shiur today. That's what happened on Rosh Chodesh Sivan. We showed up at Har Sinai, and this concept of Vayichan Sham Yisrael Neged Har, everyone knows the famous Rashi, Ki'ish Echad Belev Echad, there was this unity that took place. There was a beautiful state of unity amongst people, but no words were transpiring between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu on Rosh Chodesh Sivan. However, it was the beginning of the real countdown. It was the day we reached Har Sinai. So you and I, years and years later, it's 2020. What are we doing today? What are we doing today? Should we say like, well, Hashem didn't talk to us and we didn't talk to Hashem on Rosh Chodesh Sivan? Maybe we shouldn't get too involved with talk. No, it's not that. That's what happened then. Let's see what we can do with today. And in order to understand what we can do today with this Rosh Chodesh Sivan, with Bayom Hazeh Bal Midbar Sinai, let's go to the Or HaChaim HaKadosh. The Or HaChaim HaKadosh is going to point out something, the obvious, confusing. The Or HaChaim HaKadosh in Parshat Yitro, Perek Yutet, Pasuk Bet in Sefer Shmot, he says like this. On the second Pasuk, it says that the last place that we came from was Refidim, Vayis'u mir Refidim. The Or HaChaim HaKadosh says, Kasher. Lama Icher HaMukdam. Time-wise, this doesn't make any sense. The first pasuk says, on the third day on so-and-so, we came to Har Sinai. Then the next pasuk goes backwards in time. And it says, 1 second. They were in a place called Refidim, and then they came to Har Sinai. So the Or HaChaim HaKadosh is asking a very obvious question. What's up with the timeline over here? It doesn't make sense. Lama icher amukdam? Ki pasuk zeh haya lo lehakdim kodem pasuk shelefanav. She'amar ba'al midbar Sinai. The pasuk that speaks about the last place they came from should show up before it says that they came to Har Sinai. So the Or HaChaim HaKadosh is saying, pasuk bet should really be pasuk aleph, what you have in front of you, and pasuk aleph should be pasuk bet. So far, so good. If you have any questions, it's actually your problem because I can't interact with you right now. That's one of the limitations of Zoom. But hold them and we can talk about them later. So, ve'ulai, so the Or HaChaim HaKadosh is trying to understand what I heard from Rabbi Ari Khan one time, and I've said it in shul a few times, the concept of there being no chronological integrity in the Torah. Why is it over here that it seems to be backwards? So the Or HaChaim is going to explain to us why there's a difference. This is a beautiful thing. Why the pasuk describing coming to Har Sinai came before the pasuk that talks about where we just came from. Ve'ulai shehu al derech omram. Maybe this is based on what we learn in the Gemara in Sanhedrin, where it says ahava mekalkelet hashura. Now, ahava mekalkelet hashura is a very, very famous concept that we have in Yiddishkeit. And in simple terminology, it means love kind of messes up the order. Love messes up the order. Some people think that's a beautiful thing. Some people says, look what happens when you're too much with love, you get lost. But here the Or HaChaim HaKadosh is saying, when there was so much love in the air on this day, and therefore it caused this Torah even to jump ahead because it was so excited about what was happening, and then had to go backwards. Like when you're so excited about something and you know you've been waiting for this day to happen for so long, you kind of lose track of everything else that's around you. Well, this day of Rosh Chodesh Sivan, look how the Or HaChaim HaKadosh refers to it. So again, Ahava Mekalkelet Ashura, there's so much love and passion and excitement. So it ruined the order of how things should be, Lehakdima Meuchar, that it brought what should have been earlier, it brought it. What should have been later, it brought it earlier. Sheliyot kihu ze yom hamekuve labore, la Torah, la olam, la elyonim, ula tachtonim. This was what's called Yom HaMekuveh. Toby, what did you say? Like a kid who's so excited to share what happened to him that he jumps around and can't get the story out in order. That's mamish the way that the Torah is acting over here. Why is it? Because for that kid who's so excited to share what happened to him, that's called Yom HaMekuveh. You see, you have it in bold type over here. Yom HaMekuveh means the day that was hoped for, the day we were waiting for. Who was waiting for it? The Borei Hashem, since the time he created the world, was waiting for a certain day to take place. He was waiting, the Torah was waiting, the world was waiting. The upper creations, the lower creations. Umiyom habriya vehem yoshvim umetzapim mata yavo bnei Yisrael midbar Sinai. All of creation is waiting. When will Am Yisrael get to Har Sinai? So what's interesting is that you would think that the Yom HaMekuveh would not be Rosh Chodesh Sivan. You'd think it would be Shavuot, in a few days from now, Chag HaShavuot. But Dafka, the day describing us coming to Har Sinai, is what this excitement was towards. When are they going to finally come to Har Sinai? It's an amazing thing. Dafka here and not Shavuot. We'll explain why. Listen. כשהגיעו שמה, לא עצרו כוח לספר סדר הדבר. Therefore, when they finally reached the place that they were destined to get to from the time the world was created, the Torah didn't take its time to tell us where they just came from. ותכף קדמה הודעה באומרו, ביום הזה באו. And that's why it says, they came on this day, because like Toby said, there was so much excitement. So Or HaChaim HaKadosh tells us now what these words are. What does it mean what is this whole thing? How do you describe this whole scenario? ביום הזה באו, הגיע חשוק ונחשק לחושק בחשוק, ושמחו שמיים בארץ. Okay. הגיע חשוק ונחשק. חשוק ונחשק. This word we're going to see a lot today. חשק, passion. The one who is passionate about something and the one who is passioned. The one who is longing for something and the one who is longed by something. There's a meeting of energies over here. Samchu shamayim ba'aretz, heaven and earth. We're so excited today. Ki zehu tachlit habri'ah. This was the reason why the world was created. V'tikvata. And it's the hope of the world. Ve'achar kach chazar ha'katuv le'odia pirtan shel dvarim. And after this moment of, we meet each other, this is where it's happening, then the Torah is like, oh, rewind. Okay, we just came from Refidim. So two things I want to point out here from the Or HaChaim HaKadosh. One, the Or HaChaim HaKadosh is just explaining why the Torah is jumping right away over here. And he's saying there's this concept of choshek ben nechshak, that when you have a passion for something and you meet it, that passion is met, you can't think of anything else. It's just there. That's all that matters. But the question that we have now is, well, why did we have to go back? and mention where we came from. If this was the day that the world was waiting for, from the creation of the world, that we would show up at our date, right? That's what it is. We would show up at the date. Then why do I even have to go back and explain, oh, I came from this place called Refidim. I'm here already. The whole thing is confusing. So to go back to what we said before, ahava mekalkelet hashura, that love can make a complete balagan and take things out of order. I want to focus on that for a second right now. This week is a week of love. This week is, every day, Be'ezrat Hashem, should be a day of love. But when you know that you're, in this situation, it's a very clear relationship, that when the one who loves you the most, your lover, is so excited to finally give you what they've wanted to give you, and you're also ready to receive what they want to give you, that's what we call a yichud, a unification. Now, in modern times, I want to connect this to what's going on in our context. The Ribono Shel Olam wanted to not only give us the Torah from the time he created the world, he also wanted to give us Eretz Yisrael from the time that he created the world. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us Eretz Yisrael once, twice, and there was a 2,000-year break, and then there was an re-emergence of this gift that Hashem wanted to give us in 1948, an expansion of it in 1967, and since then, we've been having this dance regarding how passionate are we about the gift that Hashem wants to give us, called Eretz Yisrael. And without choshek benechshak, like the words of the Or HaChaim HaKadosh, there's no way you and I can appreciate the gift. There's no way. En sikui. Hashem can give you all the gifts in the world. If you don't appreciate them, then what are they? What do they mean? What's our tefillah on Rosh Chodesh Sivan? The tefillah of Rosh Chodesh Sivan is that I know that I'm about to have my wedding take place in a few days. The wedding, the kala, is coming to the chatan in a few days. Ribono Shel Olam. I want to rid myself of any preconceived notions as to what I'm supposed to feel when I'm under the chuppah. I've shared the following story with many of you, but I find it to be an important story, that approximately, I would say this is probably like 14 years ago, I met with a chatan and a kala that I was about to play their wedding, and the chatan told me a list of songs that he wanted, which is fine for, the chudei. I always basically tell, when I back in those days when I was playing weddings, I would tell the chatan and kala, I'd say, listen, it's nice to have some kind of a concept of what you're looking for, but tachlis, the maisa, you're not gonna remember. I hope that you don't remember anything that you're telling me, because I don't want you to be stuck in that at all. You should just have some kind of an idea of what you want. But then when you're with your love and you realize that's what matters, all the rest doesn't really matter. So this guy, I'll never forget this. The chatan and kala can come out of the cheder yichud. And I remember that at the meeting with them, he had a specific, not just which songs he wanted, but how the order should progress. Okay, he just came out of his cheder yichud. And the chatan is on someone's shoulders. Well, everyone is happy with him. And he's looking at me, and I see that he's listening to every song that I'm singing and the order of them. And at a certain point, he goes to me, I'll never forget it. I even remember which songs it were, because it was a defining moment in my life. He looked at me and he went like this, now it's time to go to Orech Yamim. And I looked at him from the stage, and if there was like a balloon, like in a cartoon, like some kind of an illustration that popped up, I said what I was thinking was, wow, miskena ishtecha. I feel so bad for your wife. Because if you have these kind of expectations and this is what you're so stuck to and glued to, you know what there's no room for? Passion. Because passion is not scripted. There's no scripting for passion. There's a general outline, but there's no script for passion. The Torah itself goes out of script when it comes to how passionate the moment was when we showed up where we're supposed to be. Okay, you and I had a certain script 7 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, when we sat down at the Seder table. And everyone was like, oh my God, this is how it's happening, and Mashiach, and this, and this, and this. And the more time has passed, and the more that is not the story yet, there's almost this like losing of passion to like this thing that woke up finally after a long time. But that's only because we kept scripting what I'm supposed to be feeling. Why is Rosh Chodesh Sivan so beautiful? Because Rosh Chodesh Sivan, we show up to the wedding area, to the chuppah. And Hashem doesn't talk to us. He just says, be here, rest here. You're tired. It's been a long journey. It's been 6+ weeks of craziness. You went through a lot of different emotions. You went through a lot of different wars. You went through a lot of craziness. Right now, just be here with me. And even us today, to be able to say those words, to just be here towards Chag HaShavuot without any expectation, Hashem has made it as clear as possible that you should rid yourself of any expectation of how this Shavuot should be, because no one knows what it's going to be like. Did any of you a few days ago think that you would be experiencing the weather that we have today? How many of you were planning to go to the beach today with your children? Please, it's unbelievable. Kadosh Baruch Hu is saying to us, whatever you think needs to be, okay, just chuck it out the window and just be here right now. The Or HaChaim HaKadosh says, when that is the way that I approach a relationship, then Hashem says, this is what I've been waiting for. From the time that I created heaven and earth, this is what I've been waiting for. Yom HaMekuveh. That's what he calls it. And again, when this takes place, Ahava mekalkelet ashura. Love takes things out of context. And you get all excited, like that little kid that can't wait to share with someone what happened to them. Okay. So that was all really a hakdama. That was all an intro for this mesmerizingly, beautifully deep piece that we have from Reb Tzadok HaKohen of Lublin. As many of you know, Reb Tzadok HaKohen was one of the greatest Hasidic masters, a giant. Reb Tzadok was a student, the top student of the Mea Shiloach, of the Ishbitzer, and Reb Tzadok HaKohen also passed away. I always say this because it makes it feel a little bit closer. He passed away in 1901. And it's interesting because he was a Talmid Muvak of the Mea Shiloach, who was around in Mamish, the middle of the 19th century. But Reb Tzadok had a long life, and he passes away in 1901, leaving for us many, many Svarim. One of his most famous set of Svarim is the Pri Tzadik. The Pri Tzadik is a parish on the Torah and on holidays. And the Pri Tzadik, on this, takes the Or HaChaim HaKadosh and keeps us very focused. So listen to this, Chavra. If the Hebrew is hard for you, I'll be translating every word and hopefully just like inhaling every word with you together. But try to follow if you can. This is very, very important. HaShabbat hanitan liYisrael me'orer belev ha'adam bechol Shabbos cheshek chadash likdushato yitbarach. Shabbos, which is given to us every single week, arouses in the heart of man every single Shabbos, cheshek chadash, likdushaso yitbarach, for his kedusha. Okay, I'm going to say something so far out now, I think, but do you know why at a certain point, when a chazan goes up to the Amud and he starts singing, Shilol Hashem, Shinging Chadash, I go to sleep. I can't take it. Why? Even Reb Shlomo himself would probably change the nigun by now. Or there needs to be a cheshek, Shir Lashem Shir Chadash. You got to sing something new. You got to sing something new. You got to feel new. Shabbos is supposed to bring new passion. If this Shabbos was just as holy as last Shabbos, then Shabbos didn't do what Shabbos is supposed to do. Because Shabbos is supposed to bring a cheshek chadash. It's supposed to bring a new passion into a person. Continues in the middle of the first line of Tzadok. Mitzad she'avru alav vav hayamim betirdat hamelacha v'hitrashlut midivrei Torah. Person had to go through 6 days of work, and definitely to a certain extent neglecting divrei Torah, because I got to work. I'm in this world. Lachen biyom hamenucha mitorer hacheshek litkarev likdusha. Therefore, on the day of rest, the cheshek, the desire to come close to Kedusha, wakes up. I'll never forget this. One time I went up to the Amud that was about to lead davening in a shul in New York, and it was for it was mainly young businessmen that work in the city, and this was out of the city, whatever. And the guy comes up, someone comes up to me before I start L'chun Ranema, he says, wow, Shlomo, I feel so bad for you. I said, that's so nice. Good Shabbos. Nice to meet you too. What do you feel so bad for me about? He's like, well, we're stuck in Wall Street all day long, every day of the week. When Shabbos comes, we feel Shabbos. You're talking about like Reb Nachman and you know, the Ishbitzer all week, but what's Shabbos to you? And the truth is, he on a certain level, he was trying to say something nice about me, but really, it was a real dagger to the heart. It's like, yeah, what is different? Like, Kidu said, I know it's Shabbos, but yalla, the cheshek for something new has got to be there. Now, he says something very interesting here. Second line, V'haneshama yetera gam ken chadasha bechol Shabbat. That extra neshama that we have every single week, don't think that like that's the same neshama yisera that was last Shabbos, then it goes shlufi, or it goes to where it goes, then it comes back again the next Shabbos. Ma pitom. Every single Shabbos, this neshama yitera is also a neshama chadasha. It's not the same gift of last week that kind of goes into hiding for 6 days and comes back. The neshama yitera, Rabbi Tzadok says, is also new. Mitzad v'zeu tachlit ve'ikar retzono shel Hashem yitbarach. This is the purpose and what Hashem really wants in the world. Sheitchadesh mitzad ha'adam cheshek chadash ledivrei Torah. That there should be a new cheshek in a person towards divrei Torah. K'mo shekatuv, like it's brought down in the Zohar HaKadosh. Kevan deishtadel barnash bireusa deliba legabi Kadosh Baruch Hu lo ba'iminon ela liba. When a person tries hard to get close to the reuta deliba legabi kuchabrichu, the ratzon of the heart of God, he realizes that all God wants is liba. This is another way of saying Rachmana liba bai. What Hashem wants is the heart. Ume'acheshek achadash, from the new cheshek, masig ha'adam hitchadshut bedivrei Torah. Person has a chiddush in divrei Torah. That doesn't mean that now you can darshan out something new, necessarily. What it means is the way that you hear the words, Bayom hazeh ba'al midbar Sinai. It means the way that you hear the words, Lo tisa et Shem Elokecha lashav. It means the way you hear the words, Zachor et Yom HaShabbat lekodsho, is new. Shabbos is new. Honoring your parents is new. Even Lo tirtzach, you thought you don't need to hear it again because you heard it once, you haven't killed anybody, you're okay. When you have a new cheshek to hear what Hashem wants to give you, everything sounds new. Everything sounds fresh. And the way that you, this is very important, open your hearts, the way that you understand your relationship with Hashem and how close you feel to Hashem is so much less based on how bad or good of a Jew was I. Did I remember to count Sfirat Omer every night or not, which would show that you're ready for Shavuos, and more, am I open to receiving something completely new this year or not? Last week we brought down a story that my friend Yossi and I learned in the Sivan Shalom from one of the elders in Slonim. I forget which tzaddik it was right now. Maybe it was Reb Shlomo Lenchner. Maybe it was the Saba Kadisha of Slonim, where the tzaddik said that he got up to darshan Erev Leil Shavuos, and he had nothing to say on Leil Shavuot. Why? He doesn't have any Torahs to say about Shavuos. You don't have any Chidushim. You don't have any Vorts to say about Shavuos. So the tzaddik said, I have nothing to tell any of you right now. Because if I believe that every time I learn Torah, and especially on Shavuos, it's a new Torah, it's a new way of hearing Hashem, then whatever Torah we got last Shavuos is done with this Shavuos. And tomorrow morning, or the middle of the night, when we hear Aseret Dibrot, then I'll have the hitchachut of Divrei Torah to say something. But right now I'm stuck. I'm in the in-between. There's nothing new yet. And I don't want to say something that's not shayach for now. How many of us feel like that? We think that to come close to Hashem, I have to show him how much I know. Chevra. Till when will we understand? Showing the Ribbono Shel Olam that you know something will be most exemplified when you show up and saying, Hashem Yisbarach, I'm so happy. I don't pretend that I actually understand anything. And I don't pretend that I understand exactly what you want me to do. Yeah, I keep the halachas. I learned how to do things. But to really understand your ratzon, I'm so excited to admit that I have no idea how to daven. I'm so excited to admit that I have no idea how to keep Shabbos. It doesn't scare me. It doesn't scare me. I'm so excited to admit that I have no idea how to give over your name to my children, Ribbono Shel Olam. But I know that you believe in me. And I know that you trust me to learn a new way. Because otherwise, you would not have given me the gifts you've given me in life. Chavra. That tone creates cheshek. But if I come to Hashem and all I'm thinking about is, I should know how to do this by now, this I should have down by now, I'm really standing before Hashem like one pillar of guilt. I'm definitely not open for anything new because I don't think there should be anything new. I think I already got everything. And the date, the wedding, is like that chatan that looked at me and said to me, it's time to change to Orech Yamim. You're not in the moment. You're not at the date. You're not experiencing anything. I'll share with you guys something very beautiful, something personal, very beautiful. When I was first dating my wife, one of the dates, I don't know what it was exactly. I saw her. She stopped by my house. By my apartment. She was in the area with the school that she was working with. She stopped by my house, and then she had to, I was living in Rechavia then, and then she had to go and catch a bus from, back then the buses were still on Rehov Yafo. Today it's all just the light rail, but then it was the buses were running on Rehov Yafo. I lived on Ben Maimon. So to go from Ben Maimon to Rehov Yafo, it was like a 15-minute walk, mashkaze, from where I was living to there. And I started walking with her, and when I got to the bus stop, I finally looked up to see if this was her. We were trying to, find if this was her bus stop, if this was the bus that she needed. I looked up and I realized I can't really see what the number bus is because I didn't have my glasses on. So I started reaching into my pockets, and I'm like, I forgot to even bring my glasses. I was just walking with my wife for my future wife for 15, 20 minutes. That ahava mekalkelet ashura. It was like a moment of realizing, wow, everything I think I need in life, maybe I don't. Okay, so to figure out what number bus I can't see right now. But wow, what happened to me right now when I was living a reality that I didn't plan, but I let it be. I just let it be. And I think about this quite often when we read Torahs like this about hitchachut cheshek, that the cheshek to be close to Hashem should be new. Like, this is what it is. If I'm so stuck on what it has to be, I won't get anywhere. I won't get anywhere. If I'm stuck on what Shana Rishona should be, then I have Shana Rishona my whole life. I never get out of Shana Rishona. It's that awkward, uncomfortable stage that never leaves me. But if I go inside saying, look, I'm trying to create a framework of Kedusha, but who am I kidding? I don't know exactly what it's going to be like. This is a brand new world living with someone. Shavuos, we remarry the Ribono Shlolem every single year as if we were never married before. It's not a renewal of vows. It's as if we were never married before. It was like every year there's a year marriage certificate, and then Erev Shavuos comes and it's like, should we try this again? Oh yeah, but how am I going to try this again? So Reb Tzadok continues in the second paragraph. V'shamati b'shem Baal Shem Tov zecher tzad v'kodesh livracha. שהצדיקים משתוקקים להרגיש החשק שמרגישים רחי השנים הבאים פעם ראשון להידבק לחסידus. The Baal Shem Tov says, you know when the tzaddikim, when the rebbes get most excited? When they see someone get turned on to Chassidus for the first time, when they're young. That's what makes them most excited, because they can relate to that passion, because that's happening to them at a later age as well. דהיינו כי בהתחדשות הדבר הוא התעוררות החשק הגדול, ואז הוא תואם המתיקות בעמקי הלב. When this happens, you taste the sweetness of Torah in the depth of your heart. What does it mean? Like, try this for the next few days. Try writing down or saying to your children what feels sweet to you about the Torah. Just tell them, what's sweet about the Torah to you? What a privilege it is to feel that the Torah is sweet. So Reb Tzadok, he says, wait a second. This is what Shabbos was given for. She'az margishim chiyut chadash. You feel new vitality. The neshama yitera nikret Shabbat kala. The neshama yitera has a name. It's called the Shabbos kala. Ubechol Shabbat nikret kala. And every Shabbos it's called a kala. What we just described that happens every year, on the neshama level happens every week. It's not the same kala from last week. You're marrying a new kala every single week. Skavalt. You're marrying a new kala every single week, Reb Tzadok HaKohen is saying. B'chol Shabbos nikret kala, al ken sheb'chol Shabbos nishmasin chadatim, ve'eino osa neshama yisera, the Shabbos ha'avar, ve'im ken, ein likrota kala. This is so deep. Reb Tzadok says, if it's the same feeling, it's the same hitchadshut that you have this Shabbos, like last Shabbos, don't say boy b'shalom ateret bala, boy kala, boy kala. She's not a kala. You married this person last week. Don't pretend that this is something new. If we refer to Shabbos kala every week as a Shabbat kala, that it's because this neshama yetera, this cheshek, the kedusha of the day, brings about a new found cheshek towards something. And that's why Shabbos is called kala every single week. If it's the same as last week, don't call it a Shabbat kala. So look, now he brings it to our parsha, to Shavuos, to Rosh Chodesh Sivan. V'hine b'parsha zu al pasuk bayom hazeh ba'u midbar Sinai. When we learn that on this day, Rosh Chodesh Sivan, we came to Har Sinai, Perush Rashi, ma'u bayom hazeh. Why does it say bayom hazeh? So like we learned, sheyiu divrei Torah chadashim alecha ki'ilu hayam nitnu. Torah should be feeling new to you as if it was given to you today. And that's a very hard thing to do. And we're going to end off today with addressing the how. How do you make the Torah new? We know that it needs to be new. The shaila is how. So let's continue. Tzarich להבין. דהרי ביום זה לא היה קבלת התורה עדיין, רק שבאו למדבר סיני. ועל אותו יום מרמז שהיה כל יום כן מחדש. Interesting. When the Torah tells us that we came on this day, this was the day the world was waiting for, you would think it would be Shavuot. But really it's Rosh Chodesh Sivan. So what Reb Tzadok is trying to understand over here is when it says that every day should be new to you, what part of the new should be new to you? Is it the hearing Torah and mitzvahs that should be new to you every day? That's Shavuos. What's the avoda of Rosh Chodesh Sivan? So look what he says here. After he says, V'al oto yom meramesh yekol mechadash, drasha zo muvan al ma shene'emar, hayom hazeh niyeta le'am. Now we can understand something. It says, today you became a people, כמו שכתוב במסכת ברכות, שתהיה כדיוטגמה חדשה, ציווי מלך חדשה. You show up to the place you're supposed to be in accordance with the commandment of the king every single day as new. Meaning, what's new here? What should be new for you every single day? What should be new for you every single day is not what happens at the date. What should be new for you every single day is how you show up to the date. That's the difference. And we'll expand on this in just a moment. We need to understand. The Torah seems to be repetitive. Ba'u midbar Sinai, it says. Vayavo midbar Sinai. Vayachanu bamidbar. Vayichan sham Yisrael. These are all things that seem to be so repetitive. The Torah tells us in these two psukim 4 different languages of arrival and parking. Why do I need to know so much? אכן הם הדברים שאמרנו, שמרמז שעיקר הוא החשק החדש והתשוקה החדשה בכל יום להתחדשות דברי תורה. This is so deep. I want to go back to what Toby said in the beginning. In the beginning, we said that it's like a little kid who's so excited to share what happened to him that he jumps around and ahava mekalkelet hashura. You know what else happens to you when you want to describe to someone what it was like to finally go and get to the Staples Center to see Kobe and Shaq, lahavdil elef alfei havdalas? God forbid it should be a big comparison, but just to keep, or the first time you walked in to Jones Beach in New York to see Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, not that I have any idea what that's about, but that moment you walk into the place. So you describe, oh, I got here, and then I got here, and then we parked there, and I was on that line, and then I was there. There's so much redundant, there's so much repetitiveness describing how we showed up somewhere. Yeah. Because when you're so excited to be where you're at, you even say over 1 million times, I was here, I was here, I was here. When did that happen? Rosh Chodesh Sivan. Bayom hazeh ba'u midbar Sinai. Reb Tzadok HaKohen is saying, the Torah is telling us how repetitive it is that we showed up. Why? She'ikar hu acheshek, like he just said. Ha'ikar hu acheshek hachadash, ve'atshuka chadasha, b'chol yom li'itchadshut divrei Torah. There's got to be a newfound passion. Okay, chevra, all over the world. Hashem, in his infinite mercy, threw us out of shul this year. What a gift. It is unbelievable. It's Hashem Yisbarach saying, I'm going to make this avoda so much easier for you to feel. Because you're not going to have your makom in shul. Even shuls that are allowing minyanim, 50 people with 2 meters distance between them means that no one is really back, and even whoever is back is not really sitting where they are, and there's no sense of that it's back. Hashem Yisbarach has said, listen, I'm going to make you feel that you're showing up for Shavuos this year like really it happened for the first time. Like it really happened for the first time. Because there's going to be nothing normal this Shavuos, just like there was nothing normal about our Pesach. But if we try so hard to normalize it, what do we lose? We lose the point of the day. The point of the day was the cheshek, was the passion. The passion is usually most exemplified regarding the unknown, not the known, regarding the unknown. So the Tzadok continues, third paragraph from the bottom. V'zeh shelamdu mikan she'abia lemidbar Sinai haya b'cheshek gadol. Now we're going to answer the second question we had in the beginning of Shir, which I'll go back to in a minute. So we learn from here that coming to Har Sinai was with such excitement, ubehefkerus, uprecious, mikol amidas olam hazeh. And it also shows us that when we showed up at Har Sinai, we were completely removed. It was mufkar from us. We left, kol chemdas olam hazeh, all the lusts and luxuries of this world. We were so sucked into the Tumah in Egypt, that if we would have stayed even one more minute, we all know we couldn't have gotten out of there. And what was the klipa of Mitzrayim? Klipat Mitzrayim ayat shukas v'tavos raz. When we try to understand what was it, what were the lusts of Egypt? So there were two main lusts that we had learned. One of them was Avoda Zara and one was Gilui Arayos. Both of these things were so strong there. And what happened? We were able to leave that. And Reb Tzadok says, Vayach hashkam chazak lekabel Torah. And our cheshek to receive something that we were completely unfamiliar with was so strong. That's one of the greatest miracles of Yetzias Mitzrayim, that we actually wanted what we wanted. That we wanted to get out of Egypt and that we wanted to receive the Torah. That's like the greatest chiddush in the world. Because if all you know, based on Ratzon, is how many people can I do averas with physically, and the next thing we can't really understand of how many idols do I want to bow down before, right? And that's all you know about when it comes to wanting, and suddenly you want holy things. That's a pretty amazing thing. It's kind of cool. It's almost like, to me, it's very similar to the way Omri Kaspi actually is, because here's a guy, I just saw an interview with him last week. He said, I grew up in Israel. I didn't really have any Yiddishkeit, and what I wanted my whole life was what? To be in the NBA. So he gets to the NBA, he gets to Sacramento, he gets on the Kings, and then something else starts to bubble up inside him. What's that? Let me discover what it means to be a Yid. And now he puts on tefillin every day. Meaning that the greatest miracle is not that he's putting on tefillin, it's that a person like that wanted something so opposite and not close to Yiddishkeit ends up wanting Yiddishkeit. That's an amazing thing. There was a cheshek for something new. And Hashem remembers this. We're in the third to bottom paragraph in the second line. Hashem says, I remember when you were just a kid coming out of Egypt. I remember the chesed, which is what? Lechtech achrai bamidbar be'eretz lo zrua. You followed me into a desert, an unsown place, a place that wasn't defined yet. You followed me when you didn't know how it was going to be. That is what gets to the Ribbono Shel Olam the most. Not when the plan is completely clear and then we say, okay, I'll be part of your gig. It's when Hashem says, do you trust me that where I'm taking you is a good place? Do you trust me that the Torah I'm giving you, even though you don't understand it, is a good place? And we said back then, yes, Naaseh Benishma. By the way, Avram Avinu comes to Eretz Yisrael in the same exact way. Hashem doesn't tell him anything about Eretz Yisrael besides one thing. El haaretz asher ar'eka. To the land which I will show you. That's all Avram Avinu knows from Eretz Yisrael. He doesn't know anything else. And he doesn't need to know exactly what it's going to be like. And that's how Eretz Yisrael became our Eretz Yisrael. Through someone who let passion play its role. El haaretz, I'm going to show you. Haaretz asher ar'eka. Remember the Midrash, the Midrash says, Avram Avinu every night with his chevra, they would set up shop, put up their tents, and then in the morning they'd continue. This is how they would walk. This is how they would journey from where he was to Eretz Yisrael. And then after a long time of the journey, one night, after they set up shop and they were about to pack their tents, they realized we can't put our tents away. We can't leave this place. I can't leave this. And at that moment, Midrash says, Avram Avinu heard the words Asher Areka. I'm showing you. This is it. This is the place. Reb Shlomo once said, Kedusha means to be holy, and to be in a state of holiness means that I could last here forever. I could last here forever. That for you is a Makom Kadosh. Here I could be forever. I could do this, what I'm doing, always. Always. This is Cheshek. How many of us feel like that? How many of us felt like that in our current religious situations? In the shuls we go to, that I could actually be here forever. Or that at the Shabbos tables that we conduct, I can be here forever. Or in the way I talk to my children about Hashem, that I reach the place of, I can continue this conversation forever. Or how many of us are like, well, thank God I got through that one. So Hashem Yisbarach has given us this amazing opportunity of redefined cheshek. But let's continue just until we answer the question of the how. So he gave us a little bit of a hint. He gave us a hint, and we're going to continue to develop it right now and finish this off. Ubeoto cheshek, with the same cheshek that they left all the hefkerus of Mitzrayim, ba'u midbar Sinai. Ubelamed otanu b'ma shenemar bayom hazeh. So the Torah tells us, bayom hazeh, on this day, why? Sheyeh b'chol yom etzlenu habiyah lidivrei Torah biyah chadasha, kmo bayom hazeh. Our arrival at the place where we're going to learn, before I even learned anything, but our arrival at the place should be complete cheshek, excitement, and zero expectations other than being present. But the Torah, he says over here, v'gam melamed otanu ech lavo lecheshek hazeh. But the Torah is also teaching us how to come to have this cheshek, this passion. Therefore, he says like this, and I'm just going to tie this to the beginning. In the beginning of Shir, we said, why is it that I understand ahava mekalkelet dashura? I get it. It's all cool. But what is the whole inyan of why do I have to go back the next pasuk and say, oh, vayavo mirfidim, vayisu mirfidim? Why do I have to mention where I came from? So look what he says here, second to bottom paragraph. V'alzen emar vayisu mirfidim lomar שההפקרות הזה אינו דבר כבד כל כך. מיד שנסו מרפידים, שמעורר ריפוי ידיים מדברי תורה. It's called refidim. We know because Chazal tell us that last place we were before Har Sinai was a place where rafu yedehem medivrei Torah. It was a place that we were kind of disconnected. We weren't feeling so close to Hashem, really, because Amalek had just come and put the doubt into us. The last place before we got to Har Sinai was a place where we had no cheshek. But you know what? We didn't think too much. And we went with the trust and we left it. And he says over here, ונתנו ליבם לזרז עצמם וליבם לבקש רצון השם יתברך. הבא לתאר מסיים אותו. What happened is that somehow they went into the world of trust. They went into the world of, I don't have to understand everything. And even though, yes, I've been journeying towards a certain place for a while that's promised to me called Har Sinai. And right now I have this people called Amalek, and they put a little bit of a doubt in me. If I've learned anything, is that Hashem can do anything. And that time and space are just confines of this world. When I tune in to the subconscious and outside the confines of this world, I can be a Rasha at night and a tzaddik in the morning. In our words, in modern times, in 2020, Leil Seder, I had these amazing dreams and aspirations to see Eliyahu Hanavi and greet Mashiach Tzidkenu. And I knew that even if it wouldn't happen Pesach night, this Sfira Sa'omer, I'm going to polish my midot like never before and stay so high and stay so clean and stay so clear. But what happened during the 5th week of Sfira? What happened during the 5th week of Sfira or the 4th week of Sfira? I wasn't feeling it anymore. I thought that I'd get my highs off of Zoom, but when Zoom stopped providing me with real highs, I said, what's any of it worth it? And I started going back to the stuff on Netflix that I wish I never watched. And I started talking the way I never, ever wanted to talk. And Shabbos became for me, again, not what I wanted to be. That's Amalek. Here we are, Rosh Chodesh Sivan. The power of today is to trust your heart that it wants Kedusha. Don't be scared to feel and look like a fraud based on who you were last week. Amalek attacked you last week. It's true. Bayom hazeh ba'al midbar Sinai. On Rosh Chodesh Sivan, I showed up and I was made that entity hefker. I checked out of it. I'm saying it was what it was. Ze lo ma'anyen oti. I'm receiving the Torah in a few. I'm getting married. I'm getting married on Thursday night. So I don't care so much. Sorry. I don't care so much where I was. Ani ozev et ze. Like it says about someone that wants to come close to the Ribono Shel Olam, as you see in the bottom over here, Haba l'tayim misayin oto. Someone that wants to come to become holy, misayin oto. So if you show up because you want to get clean, they help you. ובפתיחה פתח כחודו של מחט, הקדוש ברוך הוא פותח פתחים שעגלות וקרניות נכנסות בו, like it brought down Midrash Shir Shirim. That if all you want is to be close, no matter where you were yesterday, all you got to do is open up a little bit, open the heart a little bit. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in that little entrance that you created for Hashem to enter into you, Hashem Yisbarach is going to make that entrance so much wider, a place where he says, agalot and kranot, where carriages can finally enter in. ועל כן מיד יכולים לבוא למדבר סיני, שהוא ההפקרות לקבלת התורה, and then you can come immediately to Har Sinai, because you've made yourself so completely hefker, you've cleaned up. When you make yourself hefker, this is in a good way you made yourself hefker. Not in a bad way that you're hefker, in a good way. You made all expectations hefker. You got rid of it. Only you. This is all I want. I don't know what it's going to be like, but only you. Rosh Chodesh Sivan. This day, Bayom Hazeh, Ba'al Midbar Sinai. It's on this day that I say to myself, wherever I was until now, really, really does not matter. And therefore, the last line, I don't know if you have it by you, the last line of this piece, because I don't see it on the screen, but I'll just read it to you. The last line of this piece, Reb Tzadok says like this, V'lachen tzarich reishit lisam miripui yadayim. The first place you have to let yourself go of, Vayisu mir fidim means ripui yadayim. That means you become lazy. Shehu atzlut. This siman, leave this, like kilo, this nebuch state. Leave that. That's the first place. Vayisu mir fidim. When you check out of there, you're ready to come to Har Sinai. That's the place for cheshek. So, having said all this, I really, really want to give us all a bracha to take advantage of the hitchadshut of the day, to take advantage of the prep for the cut, to take advantage for the prep towards Har Sinai, to just take advantage of the fact that no one this year is dictating to you what your Shavuot should look like. Whether you're in shul or whether you're learning somewhere, this year, it's not there. What a gift. What a gift to have newfound cheshek, to have newfound passion. Hashem could not make it any clearer that that's his ratzon right now. So let's not try to let's just not try to mess that up. Let's not try to script it out, Chavra. Let's just try to carve it in. this is a new Moshe Tzaddik that we've been singing lately. שבוע טוב. איי 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 די 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 אמרני די די איי דה איי דה די די איי די 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 איי דה די 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 איי דה די 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 דה 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 איי דה דה די 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 איי דה די 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 דה דה Chodesh Tov, Shavua Tov. We'll be learning Reb Nachman tonight, and a lot more during the week as we get ready for Shavuot. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. No scripts, just presence.